It's good neighbors with a little understanding. You can find the perfect blend. That's when good neighbors become good friends.
I've just been given access to a new YouTube feature that is going to create so many extra views for so many YouTubers, and that is title A/B testing. Now, if you don't know, for about a year now, YouTube has had thumbnail A/B testing. This means you can put 2 and up to 3 different thumbnails on the same video, and YouTube will tell you which is giving you the highest watch time. Now, I've used thumbnail A/B testing a lot, creating various different thumbnails with minor changes so that I can work out which one is actually best for my video. And it has been very useful, but one thing that has remained a mystery through my entire YouTube career is YouTube titles. When I've had a video not perform very well, I've updated the title, but I've never known if that title change has actually helped or hindered my video performance. So recently I did a GeoGuessr in real life video where I was blindfolded and taken to a random location. I had to try and work out where I was. So this is the original title that I had when the video came out, and also you can see I had a different thumbnail as well. But the video didn't perform that well, so yes, I was trying different thumbnails, but I also tried changing the title, and the video still wasn't performing how I wanted, so I changed the title back to what I had it as originally, and then I changed it one more time, this time going with GeoGuessr in real life all caps. Now, each time I changed the title, I was kind of just having to look at the video's views and guess whether or not it was helping. I had literally no idea. This is something I've always done. So at the end of 2023, I released this video where I did a little collab with KSI, and I helped him get a Guinness World Record, and I also got him to sign my diamond play button. Once again, the video didn't do that well, so I tweaked the title ever so slightly. Then I changed it again, trying to like get a bit more drama involved. Then I changed it back because it didn't really help. And then months later, I changed it to something totally different, and I updated the thumbnail as well. And you can see this is a process that took place over many months of me just stressing about what I should be titling my videos. So this is just something I've always been doing. But finally, after years of YouTubers like me requesting this feature, I have been given early access to A/B title testing. So in this video, we are going some old school JackSucksAtLife analytics content, and I'm going to be running a bunch of different title A/B tests and then getting the results in 2 weeks' time. So let's start off with this recent video. I trained like a professional athlete for 30 days. If you haven't seen it, it's fairly self-explanatory. I just did a load of cardio and strength training every single day for 1 month. Now, this video had a promising start, and it was doing quite well after the first couple of days, but then for whatever reason, after the first week, things really slowed down. So let's see if we can bring things back to life with an A/B test. Now, it is pretty cool, this feature, because it's not only titles, you can also test different thumbnail and title combinations. Like, that's really useful. But for now, I am quite happy with this minorly obnoxious thumbnail. Now, I think what would be really interesting to see is, are we actually getting anything out of these little brackets that I sometimes put in titles? So let's literally find out today by having a title that doesn't have anything in brackets. And then I'm also going to try a totally different title as well. So let's go with, what should I say? What happens when you do strength training and cardio every day? Is that how you spell every day? Or is it its own word? I really should know that. Yeah, it is all one word. Actually, instead of and, let's go all caps and like that. See, this is just so totally different. But it'd be really interesting to see if a title that sounds a little bit too niche and like blah, 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 maybe that would actually help the video perform better. So let's set up the test. I am pretty excited to see what happens. So let's click save and let's do our next one. All right, next up is the GeoGuessr in real life. So you can see I already have an A/B test with my thumbnail, and it does seem like this one is significantly better, so I think we'll use it. And now let's do a title test. So we'll leave the all caps, really simple, quite old school YouTube GeoGuessr in real life title, and now we'll try something totally different that might go with the new thumbnail. Blindfolded and abandoned. Quite dramatic already, I admit. Can I find out where I am? Oh, I don't like that title, but at least I'll definitively know. Maybe it'd actually be better. Maybe let's say, can I find out my location? Nah, that doesn't sound... That's a terrible title, Jack. Let's try, I played GeoGuessr, but in real life. You are. Yeah, get a little exclamation point on the end. And this is the original title that I went with, but I'm not sure it works for my new thumbnail. But you know what? Seeing as we can, we're shoving it in anyway. And then maybe I could mess with the thumbnail again if it does seem to work. Okay, there you go. So this next video is a video where I explored London landmarks and I walked to every single one of them in one day. You can see I did a thumbnail test where I added a little timer to the top left. It didn't really make much of a difference. So now we're going to do a title test. I walked to every London landmark in 24 hours. That is the current title. But now we're going to do quite a simple change. Instead of walked, we're going to say I visited. I'm just curious, maybe people don't care about the walking aspect. Maybe people are just interested in London in general. But then we are going to pose a question title as well. Can I walk to every London landmark in 24 hours? Question mark. Okay, set test, baby. Don't know why I said baby. Sorry, guys. All right, here's another video that didn't do very well. This was my worst performing video in a while. But in all fairness, it is just me trying to jump over a fence for 10 minutes. I had an A/B test running where I had a little timer. It does turn out that this one actually performs slightly better, but it looks like the new one is being set. So let's swap it to this one. This is another video where I tried a couple of different titles, but I didn't know at the time if they helped. So let's bring some of those back. So we have the current one, Can I Learn to Parkour in 1 hour? Then we have Learning How to Parkour Over Fences in 1 hour. And finally, I learned how to jump over fences like in the movies, because if you actually watch the video at the beginning, I do reference Hot Fuzz.
What's the matter, Jenny? You never taken a shortcut before?
Now, this is such a weird, nerdy little title. And normally I wouldn't be bold enough to actually set it as the only title, but when I actually can literally experiment, it's quite freeing to know that I can just give something a try and YouTube will just get rid of it if it doesn't work. Here's another A/B test I did. So this is a video where I did only push-ups and pull-ups for 30 days. Now, these thumbnails are so unbelievably similar, but I think the difference is I enhanced some of the features on my body in this one. Like, you can see there's just a little bit more definition around my upper pec. It's such a minute change, but I was just curious to see, would that create more watch time? And apparently it did actually create like 2 to 3% extra. But anyway, we're now going to do a new title test. So I do think this title's quite good, and the video did get, I think, like 700,000 views, which is great. But hey, maybe it could get 1 million views with a new title, so it's always worth trying. So let's get rid of "and this happened to my body," and instead let's bring back "amazing results." And then I'm just going to leave it at these two. But if this one wins, well, let's get a little exclamation point in there. Yeah, there you go, nice. But if this wins, I'll test it again, but I'll put amazing results, and then I'll put surprising results. So yeah, once you've got a winning title, that doesn't mean you stop there. You can then try that winning title with a variation on that winning title. Oh, it just goes forever. So I have another video I'm incredibly proud of. What happens if you walk 100,000 steps in a day? This did well, 600,000 views, but it was like such an adventure and such an accomplishment that I would love to get closer to 1 million views. So let's do a title A/B test. Oh, you can see, look at my thumbnail test that I've been doing as well. So I was trying different text next to it, but it didn't seem like any of them made much of a difference. So the original is what happens if you walk 100,000 steps in a day, but we'll also have can you walk 100,000 steps in a day, and what happens to your body if you walk 100,000 steps in a day. Because the happens to your body meta that I've had in a few other titles has done quite well, so I thought I'd try it in this one too. All right, now we're going to try an older JackSucksAtLife video that is still getting views. So this is, I bought a $1,500 YouTube channel and earned blank. So you can see I've done a thumbnail test on this fella as well. I tried having an arrow and not having one, and we can see without the red arrow we generated an extra % or so of watch time. YouTube's an amazing job and it's obviously a lot of fun, but I can understand at the same time how people get bogged down in these kind of analytics, because you know there is so much to fiddle with if you want to. So this is the current title, which has brought us a colossal amount of views. It's one of the most popular videos on my channel. So this is a working title. There's no reason to try anything different, but hey, who knows? We might think that we're at the peak of the mountain, but maybe the peak's all the way up here. So what title variation could I try? What if instead of it being blank, I actually put a number? Yeah, we're doing it. We are changing it to $15,000. I mean, I think the blank one would be better, but I'm curious to find out. So let's set the test up. Okay, I now have title tests running on 7 different YouTube videos. So I guess we will leave it about 10 days or so, and then we can take a look at the results. Okay, here we are 10 days later, and I'm excited to take a look at some data. Did that rhyme, didn't it? So you can see we've got a few A/B tests still running. Let's just go from top to bottom. So starting with my athlete video, and here are the current results, and there is actually some differences. It's not just an even 33% split. This is almost a 6% higher watch time share, and the only difference is that I've put in brackets amazing results. So it just shows that that kind of style does work. Now what we can also see is that my totally different title has also performed quite nicely. So rather than just letting this continue for the next 4 days, I'm actually going to go ahead and remove the worst performing title so that we can just let these 2 remaining ones battle it out. Oh, it's deleted it. What was my good title? I've genuinely forgotten it. I think it was something like that. I'll check once this recording stopped and I'll change it if not. So let's go ahead and set this up as a new test. Now my GeoGuessr in real life video I am curious about because I've been struggling with that one a bit, as I mentioned. So we do have some discrepancies again. We have GeoGuessr in real life, all caps, the really simple one, has performed with an extra 3% watch time share compared to both of these versions. Now these are 2 titles that I tried originally and then I did change to this one. This was before the test, so that means I must have made the right decision there. Now I'm once again going to do a new test with the winning title, and what we'll do is we will try these brackets that I've heard such good things about. I'm going to go ahead and put Lost in the UK. It's a bit of a weird one, but hey, I've got title A/B tested now. I can just throw as much as I want at the wall and see if anything sticks. Next up was my walking to every London landmark. So let's have a look. All right, 33%, 34%, and 31%. So which is the one that performed the worst? Can I walk to every London landmark in 24 hours? So it seems like people aren't as interested in the question mark. Okay, we'll see if that's a running theme with my other tests. And we can see that these 2 are very close, so it's not made a huge difference. However, saying visited instead of walked has actually added about an extra %. So we'll keep the walked and visited, but we'll get rid of the question, and instead I'm adding an I tried to visit every London landmark in 24 hours. Let's whack an ellipsis on the end as well. Very nice. So that's a new test. We'll see how things are looking in a few more days. Next up was my push-ups and pull-ups video, and we can see not very much of a difference. This is so close that it doesn't feel like there's any kind of correlation. It just feels like stuff's been split in 2 kind of equally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and introduce a third option. I did only push-ups and pull-ups for 30 days. It's changed everything. Ho, ho, ho. Let's put a full stop on the end. Let's go crazy with it. And this is not clickbait, by the way. It was actually a very effective and simple workout. You can watch the video. So let's start that new test. Okay, next up is my 100,000 steps in a day video. And here are the results. There is definitely a loser, and that's this middle fella. Can you walk 100,000 steps in a day? No one cares. But what happens to your body if you walk 100,000 steps in a day? We've got an extra 4% compared to this one. And then this one's also somewhere in the middle. So I think this is the title I had originally, right? So we do have a new winner. So let's do a new test and get rid of this middle fella. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it on these 2 and we'll let them battle it out. Isn't it interesting how these minute changes are actually equating to a minute or 2 extra watch time? Like a 5% difference is kind of significant when all I've done is inserted the words to your body in the middle of an existing sentence. All right, next up my parkour video. So I tried a few weird titles on this one, and it looks like there's another case of them all being quite close and none really making a big difference. What could be happening here is this video hasn't really been getting many views for a while, so potentially there's not enough people clicking on it to really get much data back from it. So we do have a winner currently. It is just the plain simple original one, and for now, as I can't think of anything else to try, we will just leave it there. But let's not forget we still have this video, which is one of my most popular at 5.3 million views, and this is still getting like about 50,000 views a month. So our test report should come back with a nice amount of data. All we did was add an actual number as opposed to leaving it blank. Ooh, okay, so we do have a winner, 51%, and it is actually the one with the money included in the title. So as these percentages are too close, I think I'm just going to leave this to run and maybe we'll see a fluctuation. It is interesting that the non-blank one is currently winning, but it has reminded me I have another video from a few years ago that also has this similar blank finance title format. Now you can see I did a thumbnail test on this well over a year ago, and it turned out that the badly pixelated money, as opposed to it being completely blank, actually contributed quite a significant amount to extra watch time. So I'm going to start a new test, and I'm actually going to add the exact amount that is featured in the thumbnail. There you go. And now we'll be able to have two different case studies where I'm testing this blank number versus actual number, and we can see, does the actual number win both times? So there you go. Let's set the new test. Okay, we've settled on a few titles. We've done a few further tests. So I'm once again just going to give it another few days and see if there's anything new. All right, it's time for the final update on results. And I've actually left it an extra 2 weeks since the last recording you've just watched, because I really wanted to give the data time to do its thing, and it was worth it. My athlete video test has ended with a significant winner, and it's what happens when you do strength training and cardio every day. I thought this would be a way less exciting title than training like a professional athlete for 30 days, but you can see the results are quite significant. Look at this, we have a winner. How exciting. This has been a great example of just doing multiple tests a few times in order to get the most efficient title possible. Like, I'm almost thinking maybe I should hire somebody to just do constant A/B title tests across all of my channels. And speaking of my other channels, on JackSucksAtLife, I've been running some tests as well. So I did a video playing a new Neil.fun game. I tried slightly different titles and even a different thumbnail, but there was still a clear winner, 35% watch time share. And then I did a Reddit video also on JackSucksAtLife, and you can see once again these two, they're, you know, fine, but this title definitely contributed to quite a bit more watch time. I absolutely love A/B title tests. It is an amazing new feature. It is so useful. In the end, my GeoGuess in real life test finished with an inconclusive result, so trying the brackets didn't really seem to make much of a difference. Now, the walking to every London landmark video has had very interesting results. 23%, 24%, 51%. This is the biggest difference by far, and it is basically a hybrid of the previous tests that I did. This is a massive difference. It's like twice as successful. We got rid of the word walking, we added the word tried, and we've got a great title now. Here are the final results for the parkour video. It finished without a conclusive result, but this is still a winner, so I'm going to choose this option. I'm not sure why I didn't pick that one automatically. In the end, my push-ups and pull-up video, the titles didn't really change very much. There's still a winner, but it's pretty close. I'm going to set it as this one anyway. Oh, the 100,000 steps video has had a big difference. I added the phrase "to your body," and it's created a 60% watch time share. That's the biggest we've had so far. All right, let's get an update on our numbers in the title test. Okay, so once the test had enough time to run, there wasn't very much of a difference, 49 compared to 51. However, the one with the actual amount in the title did win, and YouTube has now chosen this as the winning title. Let's see if that also is the case with our other video. No, it isn't. It actually is the opposite result. 52% with the blank title compared to 47% with the one where I actually put the amount. So that's opposite results across those two, so no conclusive info on that one. But on that note, I am going to end off this video, and you better believe I am going to be doing some serious title tests on this video that you've watched, so I'm excited to see the results. Maybe I'll do a community post. Look out for that. I'm going to continue doing title A/B tests across all of my channels. I think it's one of the best new features that YouTube have released in years. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this good old-fashioned JackSucksAtLife analytics video. What's that? There's a play button video coming up next. Is it 2023 again? What? All right, thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you later.
Neighbors, everybody needs good neighbors with a little understanding. You can find the perfect blend. Neighbors should be there for one another. That's when good neighbors